So basically the AMAX is back inside Warzone, and in this gameplay we're going to show you why that is the case. We've got some gameplay here inside Rebirth, and we're using the AMAX with the MAC-10. All the builds and stuff will be at the end of this video. And we do get quite a few kills using the AMAX because, let's be completely honest, most people now know how to use the AMAX, what is good for, how to control the recoil. So I'm not the kind of person to tell you that the AMAX got a buff or anything crazy like that now. But what did happen is that the Cold War weapons, and mainly most of the long-range assault rifles, the Krig, the C58, and even the new EM2 did get a nerf in terms of damage profiles, and that did change the TTKs of those weapons, and they were the three most dominant weapons at the start of Season 5 when it comes to long-range meta build weapons. Now, if you want to see all the kind of stats and breakdowns of all that kind of stuff, you can check out our main channel. We've already discussed all the stats and everything over there. So if you do want to see a breakdown of what the stats are and the comparisons between the Modern Warfare and the Cold War weapons, then make sure you subscribe to that channel too. But if you want to see the AMAX in action, then stick around for the rest of this video, and if you do enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe as well, as we'll try to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers on this channel too. Now, the main thing that surprised me a lot about the AMAX, and before we actually get this loadout here in the gameplay in just a second, is that the damage per mag on the gun is still pretty decent. You can actually take out 2 or 3 enemies with 1 magazine if you're using the 45 round mag on the AMAX, and I find that to be pretty impressive considering it did take a big damage nerf previously in Season 4. But one good thing about the AMAX is that they never change the recoil of this weapon, and that is one thing I hate when they do, is they change the recoil. On the C58 they changed the recoil, and I feel like that gun's a bit harder to use now in my opinion, and that's coming from a controller player on PC. I get all the aim assist, all that good stuff, but I still feel the C58 is a bit weird to me after they nerfed the recoil on that gun. So that is why I went back to the AMAX, because the TTK of both of those guns are very similar now, but the AMAX just allows you to hit more shots way easier in my opinion. Plus you do get a little bit extra zoom with the VLK optic than you do with the axial free times. That's another thing to keep in mind, because the axial free times is like a 2 or a 2.5 times optic inside this game, which is really weird, but it is what it is. But one huge drawback you will notice, and this throughout the entire gameplay, is that the movement on the Modern Warfare guns is just not there, and that is why we are running the MAC-10. So I missed a slide cancel here, and it made me miss this guy crossing from left to right. Otherwise I could have beamed him a little bit extra, but I still don't think I would have got the finish there. I did crack his teammate, and this range is perfect for the MAC-10. This is the range where you beat most SMGs with a MAC-10, and I just really like this kind of build on the MAC-10 for a faster ADS. In Rebirth it works pretty well, in Verdansk not so much, but as you see we got a pretty easy cleanup there. I did some damage to both players, and then my teammate came in to help get the finishes. I had only 11 bullets left on my AMAX and not so many bullets left on my MAC-10 as well. This guy was just hiding behind the cabin the whole entire time, and I did think he had another teammate there, so that's why I kind of started pre-firing straight away with the MAC-10. And there was another guy inside this other cabin where the buy station is, but my team actually managed to clear that up. I do not know how I survived this at all, because I was getting shot at whilst I was trying to buy a self-res. Probably a bad decision, but it happened. At this point, I actually dropped my MAC-10 for this Swiss, and that is because if you're trying to fight in this area of the map, for anyone who plays Rebirth, you know it's quite difficult to fight anyone when you're on the lower ground and someone's on this hill here. I did get some pretty decent snipes with whoever's ground loot Swiss this was, or whoever's build this was. I shouldn't have dropped my MAC-10, I actually should have dropped my AMAX instead for the sniper, in case someone does appear close range. But my plan here was that if most people were going to be on top of this hill, so if I did need to switch out, I still have my AMAX as well that I can use, and I can always go back to pick up a MAC-10. But this guy ends up being super close range, and the AMAX still does a decent amount of damage to kill this guy. Not only that, he did only land back in, to be fair, so it was a pretty easy kill still. Now I've got the MAC-10 and the AMAX again. I've just picked up my guns that I had, of course, my loadout weapons, because the Swiss wasn't really working out for me. I did get 1 or 2 snipes, but I wasn't doing great with it. But as you can see, the AMAX still fries at those medium to long range distances. I managed to pick up a finish here as well, but there's still a guy to our right, and then this guy appears as well, so I'm trying to get the down or a finish on this guy too. But there's a few guys around us, and my teammates kind of know what's going on, but there's players kind of surrounding us in all areas here, and I'm just trying to figure out where players are. I managed to beam this guy. I was pre-firing that corner as well because I had a feeling he would re-peek it. So I just wanted to make sure I get that down there because I don't want anyone popping up in random areas where we don't know where they are. And I try and res my teammate here, and I think I go down straight after this as well. What happened next was exactly what I was afraid of. After I raised my teammate, these two guys actually pushed up, and I didn't want them to push up. That's why I was holding the angles I was holding. But luckily I had the self-res. I actually forgot I had the self-res, and I didn't realize to pop it until like 2 seconds after I checked. But I heard this guy run at the bottom here, and he was completely clueless. I was still pre-firing again just to make sure I do get this kill, because I don't want to lose this game. It's end game. There's only a couple of guys left. I want to finish this game with a win. I'm plating up now, and we're just trying to figure out where this last guy is. I do have this crossbow as well, and we're trying to figure out where this guy is. Turns out he was behind us the whole time. I don't know where the hell he was. Maybe he was gliding or something like that. But my teammate does pick up the kill, and we do end up winning this game pretty easily. So here is the class setup we were using for this gameplay. Now, the meta build for the AMAX is what we were actually using. So it's the mono suppressor. Then we're using the Zodiac barrel. This is going to give you the best bullet velocity, the best recoil control, and damage range, combining both of these attachments. Then for the underbarrel, we're using the Commando foregrip. This is the best underbarrel for the AMAX. Then we were using the 45 round mags. You kind of have to use this attachment. And the AMAX still has a pretty good damage per mag, even with 45 rounds and with the current state of the meta balancing at the moment as well. And then the optic, we were using the VLK optic because if anyone who doesn't know, the VLK optic does help control recoil a little bit. Plus, it gives you the best long range scope for an assault rifle anyway. And this is the best build for the AMAX, and that's what we're using in the gameplay. Then for the MAC-10, we did swap out this build a little bit just to get a different feel of this weapon, maybe a bit more of a close range build. We tried the standard sound suppressor over the agency suppressor. Now, in my opinion, the agency is the best option. Now, we just wanted to try out getting a slightly faster ADS with the standard sound suppressor, and after trying out both, the agency still is the better option here. But I was just trying to get a slightly faster ADS time, and that is why I did try out the sound suppressor here. Then for the barrel, we did use the Task Force. Everyone pretty much uses this barrel for the MAC-10, and it's going to give you that strafe speed as well as bullet velocity. Then for the stock, we did use the Raider stock, and that is for the faster strafing speeds as well as the slightly faster sprint to fire time. The mag is the Stanag 53 round. This is the best mag option for the MAC-10. I mean, it's no other option besides this one. And then we were using the Serpent grip. Now, a lot of people do use the Tiger Team Spotlight, but on SMGs right now, I've actually prefer using the Serpent grip for that slightly faster ADS. And like I said, this is mainly to get faster ADS all round, and that is why we use the Serpent grip as well as the sound suppressor. Then for the perks, we were using EOD, Overkill, and Amped, and we did then use Tempered on the second loadout, and we were using throw knives and stun grenades. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more gameplay videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and click that link in the description down below and subscribe to our main channel. Thank you very much for watching.